Hey guys, Heaney again. Thank you so much if you managed to do my 60-minute first video. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I'd like to start again just by reinforcing the message from God and from Jesus. That's who I'm speaking for, that you are first and foremost a spiritual being, okay? First and foremost. If you watch the first video, you'll know. So first and foremost, you are a spiritual being. And this is all the videos I'm going to do, is try to guide you home to where you belong in heaven. Okay, because we're at the end times now and you need a wee guide. So I won't go over all that again. I'll crack on with today's video, and that is Deconstruction of the Matrix. Okay, you all live in a matrix. Now, you might think, well, there's been a movie called The Matrix and I've seen it, or you might think there's a movie called The Matrix and I haven't seen it. I would suggest, if you can, go and watch it. That would be great. It's a good movie. Keanu Reeves stars. Without giving too much away, if you haven't seen it, within The Matrix, people are living in pods, but they're connected with a wire to a computer simulation that is the world around them. And this computer simulation is made up of code, and it does create physical form and tactile thing. You can eat and you can do all the things that we do in our matrix, but it's all made from computer algorithms and codes. But our matrix is slightly different. It's the same premise. We're not living in pods. We are living in a shell and with a computer, but that's what we're living in. That's the difference. We're a spiritual being in a shell, you know, and never dwell in the shell because it's just not that important anymore, you know. It never has been, but people dwell in it too much, okay? Especially in the Matrix, but you've been engineered and programmed to dwell on the shell, okay? You've been engineered and programmed your whole life to spend time only on the shell and the computer and give your spiritual self no help and no love and no attention at all. But it's all been by design, so it's not your fault, okay? So our matrix is an atomic one. It's made out of atoms, and science can verify these two facts, that everything has an atomic structure to it. Everything in this world, your body, food, water, everything contained within the world is atomic. But the atoms don't actually touch each other. They get near to each other and they hold a pattern, but they don't actually touch. So if they don't actually touch, can anything really be solid? Question. Also, at the same time, science will say that an atom is 99% empty space. Empty space. Therefore, is everything you see and touch and eat, your body, only 1% material? That has to be the case. If an atom is 99% empty space, what is left is 1% material. Your brain perceives everything else and fills everything else in. So, very much like the movie, we do live in a matrix constructed by atoms that cannot be deemed as solid in any way, shape or form. Okay? Now, to destruct the matrix, I could first of all say, right, I'm going to take away all the buildings, all the cars, all the roads, all the structures, all the shops, all the man-made buildings, everything. If I removed all of that from the planet today and came up and poked you and said, excuse me, who are you and why are you here? I would get very little response. You'd be sitting on the ground wondering where you were, what are you? You wouldn't be able to answer. Okay, so we put the matrix back. So the main structure's back in. And I ask you the same question. Who are you and where are you? Yeah, you'd give me your name and you'd say you're in a shop or in the pub or in a restaurant or whatever. You'd have those answers at hand because the Matrix, the first part of the Matrix, settled back in. You'll feel a little bit more secure about who and what and where you are. But none of it is real. Okay? Everything has been created by Satan as one of his agendas. He thinks the agenda's up. He will filter them down through what's called the Council of Seven. There are 7 men who sit in a council who he deals with directly, who then filter it down to a group called the Illuminati. The Illuminati, for centuries, were a name that nobody would speak for fear of reprisal. However, at this juncture, nobody cares anymore if they say anything about the Illuminati. I mean, when Dan Brown released the book The Da Vinci Code, the only reason he wasn't killed was because he gave the impression the Illuminati are fictitious, when in fact they are very factual. They do exist. They are, after the Council of Seven, they are the 12 richest families on the planet with an estimated net value per family of $500 billion. So they control basically what happens on the planet when it comes to Satan's agendas. They filter it down further to a next line of people who are equally as wealthy: Zuckerberg, Bezos, Gates, etc. And down the ranks it goes. But all starting by Satan's design and Satan's instructions. Okay? All the conflicts on the planet in your lifetime, in your parents' lifetime, in their parents' lifetime, back as far as you can go, have all been by design, by Satan's design. There was no act of aggression against any country during World War I or World War II. They were all designed and manufactured by Satan and the Illuminati. And all the governments across this globe, well, it's not a globe, as we discussed last video, it's a flat earth. But globe's a term we use. I might use it by mistake. I don't mean to, because it's not a globe. But that's how ingrained these things get into you, you know, because we're programmed since primary school. We're programmed with stuff, and it's difficult to lose that casual drop of the word globe. So I might use it sometimes, but I don't mean to. I really want to say flat earth, because that's what it is. Okay. And Satan has been doing this since the beginning. Since ancient times, he has been interfering. People wonder where the ancient civilizations went because they were deemed as advanced. But Satan was involved, and of course he destroyed them. They weren't going in the direction he wanted. So he destroyed them, each and every one of them, destroyed by Satan, going by a different name. He went by many names. He's gone by 30 names over the centuries, such as his ego. And I couldn't reel them off to you now. Baphomet, Set, the devil, Lucifer, and so on and so on. So you get to school, you'll find there's a special something about a kid who's under the age of school age. They've got a magic about them. They've got an effervescence, a glow, a happiness, an innocence, but an awareness. They've got an awareness of other things going on. They're still connected to the spirit realm. They still haven't been programmed yet. They haven't gone to school. So the Matrix and the programming hasn't started. They've got this magic still about them. And if you interact with kids, you'll see that. You'll see what I mean. They have a fun, a life about them that as soon as they start the indoctrination of school, it begins to go. And that's happened to us all. You know, we've all gone through that. Um, Everything you learn at school, 90% of stuff you learn at school is fake. I would be, as a critical thinker, learning things at junior school and picking them apart bit by bit as the teacher wrote it on the blackboard. One of the most ridiculous years of lessons was studying the ancient Egyptians, and we were told that they had constructed the big pyramid at Giza. And of course, this is quite ridiculous. Some of the blocks are 80 tons, and suggesting that humans push them over sticks and up a bank of sand into a pyramid. They often had very complex joints that were carved in, far more complicated than was necessary for building the pyramid. And to suggest humans did that was quite ridiculous. The pyramids were unequivocally built by extraterrestrials. They were in perfect alignment mathematically and with a star system, so that just isn't in debate. And you know ideal and absolute truth. I won't lie to you. So you're learning that at school, so a whole year wasted on books and scripture that is completely false. Humans didn't build the pyramids. It's quite ridiculous. And you can see from Mayan ruins, excuse me, from the Mayan ruins that the layout of the ziggurats and the spacing, just everything about it is indicative of a landing zone for extraterrestrial craft to come in. The flat top ziggurats where they could meet and greet and get off and on. And of course, Satan was there, so there was child sacrifice, and all the ancient civilizations did the same thing, child sacrifice to him, because he's always been into that. That's his thing. Blood sacrifice. So they all did it, but he ended up destroying them all because they weren't going in the right direction. He only became happy when the Roman Empire rose up under the leadership of Nero, very evil, wicked man, who sent the ball rolling for civilization to get to where it is today. They were the ones that built roads. They had grand structures, libraries, etc. Big armies, did a lot of killing, a lot of dominating of other countries, and that was where he first got the paradigm for the agenda that we are in today in 2021. That's where we are. Roman times expanded across the earth. Everywhere's built up. Everywhere has roads. Everywhere's connected. And that was what was required for his end game. Okay. So school, 90% is fake. The other 10% is useless information. Waste of time. Okay. You leave school, you've got one thing in your mind, get a job and make some money. That's it. Nothing else. You can't remember anything else from school apart from, get a job and make some money, because that's your condition to do so. And you're conditioned to take on board that the more money you get and the better job you get, the better person you are, which is completely false also. You then get into what I call repeating. Okay, and that comes from the 24-hour in a day. It's split into 3 8-hour chunks by design to keep you under control. The studies have been done to assess how long a human being can concentrate or focus and function at optimal mobility in whatever they're doing, and it's 8 hours. So that's why your day is 9 to 5, 8 hours. 8 hours is your working day. And the next 8-hour chunk is you're told that you need to sleep for 8 hours every day, and that is ridiculous. You can easily have enough sleep in 4 hours. It's your REM sleep that's important anyway. Really, you can go through various states, beta and theta, etc. But it's your REM sleep that's really important, where you lucid dream and do all that stuff. Your brain really gets a good rest and has a little play with itself. And So you're told 8 hours. You've got 8 hours working, 8 hours sleeping. You've got 8 hours for yourself. You whoopie-doo. 8 hours out of the 24-hour day, which you do on repeat. And when I say repeat, you will repeat things day after day after day after day, week upon week, month upon month, year upon year. You will repeat. We all do it. I've done it. Everybody does it. Whatever you do, you'll find yourself repeating it over and over and over and over again. The banality is incredible when you perceive it from this perspective. It really is. Whatever you repeat on, you do it, and you've done it hundreds and hundreds of times. And you've come here from heaven to take on a human form, to experience life, and you're stuck already by the age of leaving school in a work, sleep, repeat pattern. Okay? That's to keep you docile, keep you under control, and keep you just at the maximum functionability so you can be controlled. Okay? Again, this happens through the media. They are great for controlling you. There's 6 companies that own all the media on the planet. They're all in collusion with each other. They feed out the same rubbish, and they have newspapers, magazines, the news, advertising, social media. Everything is controlled by these 6 companies, and it's all scripted. It's all fake. A lot of the stories are, or most of the stories, in fact, no, all the stories are negative, okay? So you go and watch the news for 30 minutes at 10 o'clock at night, and it's all one stream negative. Negative, fear-mongering, scaremongering, depressive. That's all it is. There's no balance. If it was the news, there would be a mix of good news and bad news. Let's say, who wants to, we don't want to know the bad news, but I mean, I accept bad stuff happens and it needs to be reported, if it were true. But there's no balance. It's half an hour of a feed into your brain, directly into your brain, through your television. And of course, to lie vision. That's what it means. It's going to lie to you. Of course it is. Television is probably the most successful brainwashing tool that the Matrix has, and it's got a selection. But it's the best brainwashing tool. Everybody's got at least one TV, if not 2. And if it's not 24-inch, it's 54-inch to get a bigger hit. And again, that's also part of repeating. So if you're watching television as part of your repeating cycle, you're actually watching, with reality TV, you're watching other people living their lives. And you're sat there repeating this time and time again when you should be out there living your life and having those experiences instead of watching other people have an experience in a reality TV setting. And everything's reality TV now. It's absolute garbage, and it shows the levels of quality of anything, even your documentaries that you can watch. Most of them will be fake. They'll be based on history books, again, which most of them are fake. When you actually research them and study them, you'll find a lot of holes in them. A lot of ancient cultures. People will say they don't understand the writing, they don't understand the way the statues are shaped, they don't understand the layouts of the villages, they don't understand pretty much anything. However, they'll then produce a book and talk you through a day in the life of the Aztecs, when they've just already told you they don't understand most of it. But they can still produce books and books about things they did in minutiae, which is clearly ridiculous and false. And of course, it's television programming. So just keep on programming that brain. Keep on programming you to stay away from the Bible, stay away from God, stay away from Jesus, any which way they can. And they do that very effectively. Also, way back in the 50s, somebody was a whistleblower and said they're using subliminal messaging through TV, and I mentioned that in my last video where subliminal messaging flashes up. They're so quick, they just go into your subconscious mind through your retinas, and you don't notice it, but your subconscious mind will take everything in. So they'll take up any message, any advertising, any instructions they want you to take on board. They'll do it subliminally, and they've never stopped doing it. It's their best brainwashing tool out of the bunch. They'll never stop doing it. They haven't stopped doing it. It's a lie. Okay? Soap operas and TV, they are fundamental in social conditioning. So part of the matrix is keeping it all churning away nicely. You're oblivious to what's going on. You keep on doing these things. You think it's normal life. It's not normal life. It's all mapped out. It's all designed. It's all an agenda. It's all conditioning. You are being controlled, brainwashed, manipulated, deceived. You are surrounded by fake, false. Nothing is what it seems. It's all by design. And when you start picking it apart, you can see the cracks. So soap operas are for social conditioning. If anybody wants to put something in, maybe a new gender role, or like they did in EastEnders recently, I saw a clip of somebody who was vaccinated and somebody who was unvaccinated in a shop, and the person who was unvaccinated was shamed and had to leave the store, head down. That was all orchestrated by the establishment, because, again, they want everyone to get this injection, which, again, if you go back to my last video, you'll know exactly what's in it, and it's not good. You'll also notice when you're watching television that the advertising is extremely loud. It goes far higher than what it was before, the program was before, but it does that. So if you do think that adverts for making a cup of tea, again, you're wrong. It's not. It's for advertising. So you go through the kitchen, the volume goes way up, so you do not miss one single second of their advertising and programming. That's why the volume goes up on the adverts. No other reason at all. Hollywood movies, much and such the same. Smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. That's all it is. Like the Matrix was produced because in case anybody like me came along and said, hey guys, the Matrix isn't a movie, it isn't somebody's wacky sci-fi imagination at play here. It is actually based on truth. A couple of tweaks here and there, as I've explained, but at the end of the day, very, very similar. And you'll find with most of Hollywood's movies, they are there as cover. So if something does get out, people will say to you, oh, don't be so silly. That's ridiculous. You've been watching too many movies. I just saw a movie about that. And it's like, yeah, but it's by design. The movie is there by design. So you can take it as read that the majority of things you've seen in the movies have, are, or will happen. Okay? I can't say 100% of them. No. But they've all got symbology in them. They've all got signs, Illuminati signs, things like this. Covering over of the eye is symbolising the Eye of Horus, which is, you'll notice the pyramid that is split and a little point at the top. The point is the Illuminati. Then there's a gap. Then there's the rest of us in the bottom of the pyramid. That's how they see us. Illuminati at the top. Then the space, then the rest of us, you've got the military forces and police, etc. in the middle, and the rest of us, 7 billion, all squashed at the bottom. That's what that means, and it's on some currency in America. Some of the dollars have it printed on, and you'll find that triangle everywhere. They'll even put symbology in children's cartoons, Disney programs, Pixar movies, throughout children's stuff, symbology of paedophilic codes. Again, another Illuminati one. So covering the eyes, a favourite one. You'll see so many of your favourite celebrities do this, or do something similar, like this, or indeed like this. You'll see them all on magazine covers, on advertising, on billboards, on television programs. If indeed somebody says something like God, Lord, or Jesus, they'll go like that, because that's them going, oh, I have allegiance to Satan. And sadly, for my 1,500 DVD collection has been decimated because 95% of the people in them, 95% of pop stars, actors, sports stars, models, politicians, etc., 95% of these people are worshippers of Satan. They're Satanists or Luciferianists or call them what you like, devil worshippers. They're all on board. And even your most favourite ones that you just can't bear to see doing that, they are. Take it from me, trust me. And you know I will only deal in truth with you. Trust me, they're on board with the satanic agenda. Most of them are. Most of them are. It is really sickening when you find out. But most of them are. Okay? And as I said last time, I'm just going to pop this in again. That 5G has nothing to do with telephones. It's a frequency to disrupt your brain. It disrupts the synapses. For your entire neurology, it's bad. People just thought it was 5G because it followed on from 4G, but nobody said that. It was just an assumption that people made, which was wrong. And again, it was called 5G just because they understood that people would make that assumption and be wrong. Another fake. And of course, a big fake that is, again, draws people away from their spirituality is outer space and NASA. I can assure you, everybody, everything you have seen provided by NASA has been faked. And not very well. Badly faked, I would say. Badly faked. Particularly the International Space Station that's filmed underwater, and you can see little bubbles coming up, and they don't even do it well. They get billions of dollars funding from the American taxpayer, and that goes directly back round to Deep State, who use it for controlling the network of cocaine around the planet, the network of guns, explosives, child trafficking, human trafficking, all done by Deep State, funded by the money that goes to NASA. So make no mistake, they haven't been in space, they've never been on the moon, and everything you see, little crafts landing on Mars and so forth, load of rubbish. Absolute rubbish. The most they can get with one of those rockets is the outer firmament if they're lucky, but no further. It's all been a lie. NASA, space, everything, one big lie. And I'm sure I'll get people who will disagree, and that's absolutely fine. I'm always up for a debate. We all have different opinions. But when you know the truth, it's clear as day, and you can see it a mile off. So everything, I'm afraid, in your life is fake. It's an agenda. It's been designed. You have been, from the age of 5, carefully programmed right the way through your life. It's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. We can't help it, Nobody can change what's happened. All you can do now is understand what is happening to you, what has happened to you, and you can start to mentally live out with the matrix. Okay? When you understand this information, you will begin to live outside the matrix. Things that you thought were really important become completely nothing. Money. You got it, you don't got it, whatever. It's unimportant, It's meaningless. And as the Illuminati are soon to find out, when the final battle rages between the Almighty God and Satan's denizens, they will realise that their billions and trillions of dollars are not going to help them in any way, shape or form. They can't hide behind that. At that point, money will be worthless, just bits of paper. It would be better off being trees and left as trees instead of changed into money. And of course, they're going down the cashless society, cryptocurrency, which is again another control, because they want to remove cash, which they will, and have a new way of keeping control of you if you're all digital. If you're all doing everything online, that's another way of controlling you and keeping you nice and ordered and controlled and dominated. Because that's what it's about for them now. It's about total control. The money thing has worn off. Buying and selling people and doing all their heinous acts has worn thin now. They want to dominate. They want to control. They want to have power over you, over each and every one of us. They want to have complete power over you. Take away your individuality. Sever any connection you have with the Bible, Jesus, or God. So it's a great way to test somebody if you're suspicious of their affiliations with the black, slimy enemy. If you have any suspicion, say something spiritual. Say something, oh heavens, oh amen, blessed heavens, what a lovely day. And watch the reaction. Whoop, up, You know, all their signs will come out. You can see them on chat shows doing it. You can see it on rock videos, all sorts of videos. The satanic symbology is absolutely everywhere you look. You'll see it on advertising billboards. You'll see it on products, food products. And of course, they're all poisoned. Everything's been poisoned. You're not only living in a matrix that's been controlled as a template for your entire life. You're not just living in that. You're eating, drinking, and breathing poison. The food is all poisoned. It's all sprayed. Monsanto, a big company in the world, they own seeds. You can't now plant seeds without Monsanto making a claim and saying that's theirs, because they can tell, because they're genetically modified. So of course they've got genetically modified crops, putting other farmers out of business. And that's what they've been doing. All that stuff is sprayed and sprayed and sprayed. They need the genetically modified crops so they can spray them so heavily with pesticides. It's not to make it look nice and big and red and juicy for an apple. It's so they can layer on these heavy pesticides to get more, to make them grow faster, to just make more money. You know, that's why everything's been genetically modified. The water does not require fluoride. Your teeth don't require fluoride. Your body does not require fluoride. You don't require fluoride, but it's chucked in your water in the tons, you know. It's all through your drinking water, all through your soft beverages, fluoride, and completely unnecessary. Weather modification. I saw that maybe about 8 years ago in a small village. I'm in Scotland, so a small village down the road. I sat waiting for a friend in the sun. I saw four to six crisscrossing lines in the sky. Became curious about what they were. It certainly it wasn't the exhaust from a jet, because it hadn't dissipated quickly enough. And of course it was, well, there's something strange there. And chemtrails weren't really a thing that was spoken about 8 years ago. They are now. So they've been going on for at least 8 years, probably longer. They've been pumping chemicals into the atmosphere, and of course go into the environment. In the last 100 years, humans have been responsible for 50% decline in animal, fish, bird species and flora and fauna across the board. 50% decline in 100 years. That's the damage we've done in such a short space of time to God's fabulous creation, the earth. The earth was perfect at the start. Beautiful streams, waterfalls. It was hot everywhere. And that's why we have the bodies we have, because we weren't supposed to require clothing. That was something that came later. because the climate changed, again, by design. So, I mean, this has been going on for a long, long time. This has been happening. So, basically, I would say the advent of planes that were dumping stuff into the atmosphere. That would not surprise me in the slightest. As soon as they could get up there to do something, they would. Would you be surprised if I told you Hurricane Katrina was manufactured and man-made? It was. It was, and it was a horrific, horrific time for New Orleans. But trust me, that was manufactured. And they can manufacture, whip up a storm, boom, just like that. Just that if the Council of Seven decide that they're wanting to decimate some place, they'll do that, with a storm or a tornado or whatever flood. That can be done now. So everything's poisoned. You're living in a fake matrix. But you now understand that, we're getting to the end game here, So I want to just finish by saying two things. The Illuminati call 4 billion of us useless eaters. That's what they call us. 3 billion of us are already in dire straits and starving and having difficulties getting by. So already 3 billion are in a really impoverished state on this planet, and the billionaires could help but they don't, the trillionaires could help but they don't. So 3 billion of us are already struggling hard. The 4 billion of us, they class us as useless eaters. They want rid of us all. And one thing I will give you, that the Illuminati don't want you to know, of course, one of their little secrets. They're very up with their secrets, and they like to think they've got all the secrets and all the knowledge, which they have had for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. But here's one I'll let slip right now for you. Another lie you've been told, which has been programmed into you through the schooling system and again through documentaries. The fact that your brain works at 10% of its maximum potential. You're then compared to the intelligence of a dolphin, and I love dolphins. They're gorgeous creatures, they are intelligent, they play with balls, they make lovely noises, they swim about, but we're told they work at 20% of their brain's functionality. So already you take into your subconscious mind that you work 10% of your brain, that's it, that's maximum, and you then automatically compare yourself to a dolphin that can only swim about and play with a ball, so you don't reach and go further. I will tell you now, people, your brain can work at 100% of its capacity. 100%. Take that in. Take that in. Because this is a tool you will need when you're navigating the matrix, okay? Your brain can work at 100% functionality. I've had things downloaded straight into my brain from heaven. I've been given the gift of speaking and praying in tongues, just like that from God. Boom, straight into my brain. I've managed to remove negative psychological blocks that bothered me, paranoia, fear, all Satan's trash. I've managed to recreate and rewire my brain and remove all that crap. It's gone. It will never appear again. It can never affect me again. And, in videos to come, I'll teach you exactly what to do. You use your pineal gland. It's visualization. It's very straightforward. Once you get the hang of it, you can do anything. You can do loads of stuff with your brain that you just don't realise. But the very fact that I'm telling you, you can work your brain at 100% is going to help you open up and understand what you are, spiritual being in a human existence. But unfortunately, the human existence is stuck in a matrix. The matrix is all controlled, all designed to keep you away from your true self, spiritual self, God, Jesus, and the Bible. And that's where you're living, But the best way to go forward with this is to embrace the information, get your brain working, have a shot yourself, Try and think about something you want to get rid of, because usually it's stuff we want to get rid of. And living in this corrupted world, it is stuff we want to get rid of, and it's all Satan's stuff. It's all his negative programs that you want to get rid of. So if you want to get rid of that, start working on it. Just use your brain, because you know you can. Okay, people. Thank you very much indeed. Now, I've done that quicker. 39, almost 40 minutes. Okay. I will be quiet now. And I look forward to seeing you next time with some more tasty truths and tidbits to whet your appetite. And we'll do some exercises in mind manipulation and mind control. And if I can do it, you can do it, okay? I've been, as you know from the last video, down all sorts of avenues of debauchery. So it's quite amazing that my brain functions at all. But it does. And it functions very well at a very high pace. And certainly more than 10%. Okay, even after all the damage I possibly could have done to it. So if I can function more than 10%, so can you. And once you get the hang of it, you're going to enjoy it. And you're going to want to teach it to other people as well. So I will say to you, thank you so much. I'll pray for you all tonight, as I always do. Pray for everybody in the world to come on board, find your true, original, spiritual self, and guide you towards your Saviour, Jesus Christ, who is the only way out of this shit pile. And I know I shouldn't have said that word, but, it just fitted so well. I'm not supposed to swear. I don't think it was a really bad one, but I will be repenting for that later, because I have to stay true to God and Jesus. But really, it is what it is. And I just want to get you all back home, because that's where you came from. It's your home. It's your home, people. Back home to heaven, where you belong. And then we can have more chats, because I do like chatting, you'll have noticed. So we can have more chats. For how long? Eternity. Yes, eternity. I'll be able to speak to each and every one of you, because time just, not a concern. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing you all. I really am. From all across the world, I really, really am. And if you can share this, please, please do so. Thank you so much. And look forward to preparing something for you soon. Okay, much love. Bye for now.